Boom, and here we are, number 17 for Matt's Chats, where I'm speaking to all my favourite people that I've met and admire in the musical industry. And this week's episode goes back to actually the beginning of the year, playing at the New Wave of Classic Rock in Leicester and sharing a changing room. Well, actually, I didn't know I was sharing a changing room. I just walked in and this young man was sitting there. And I absolutely fell in love with the fella. What a brilliant guy. What a fantastic guy. Very great pleasure to meet Ryan Trotman of Electric Black. Evening.
Good evening, Matt. How you doing?
Very good. Very good. Have you been working today?
Unfortunately for my sins, yes. The music industry isn't paying me enough yet to lay in bed all day for a while. So yeah, I've got a day job.
Excellent. What do you do? It's some sort of logistics, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a HGV driver also. So yeah, I turn up, try to do as little as possible, get paid, and come home as early as possible. That's generally the plan in place.
I like that. We'll have a little talk about that later because I see loads of them pulling up down the road from where I live in Leatherhead, and they have to. There's a certain like a bell or something, or tack bell or something that goes off, and you have to stop a certain number of driving. Is that right?
Yeah, we're allowed to drive for 4.5 hours continuous, but or 6 hours working time, whichever comes first, and then we've got to stop and have at least half-hour break, if not 45 minutes.
Brilliant. Sounds like a good job for me out on the road. On the big
Yeah.
open roads. It's not quite like that in England, though, is it? Really? Not in the Midlands, I wouldn't have thought. Wherever you go.
Well, I don't quite. Well, I suppose like the roads are probably a bit more open in the Midlands than they are down here. Obviously, in and around London, you're kind of stuck M25, so you just spend a lot of time swearing at people under your breath.
Yep. No, I don't hold back. Actually, I don't go under my breath. I wind the window down and get the megaphone out and give it the full hello. Yeah.
I have been that person. I just for a while I used to have to drive in central London, and I found that the truck was going forwards, and I was leaning out the window, gesticulating at people, and I thought this is probably not the place to be driving. So yeah, I found some runs to do. Like, sometimes I go to Swindon. At the moment, I go down to Gatwick or Winchester or out to Chelmsford. So yeah, it's not so bad.
It's interesting because at a very early age, I saw a film called Convoy, and you like this story because there's in the scene in the film Convoy where Chris Christopherson walks in to see his girlfriend, and she goes, "What have you got me for a birthday present?" And she wrapped herself up in a ribbon and said, "Me," and she undid it. It was like it was a big film after the big rubber duck, that film. Anyway, that had a big impression on me because I went to go and gate crash this New Zealand barmaid I was seeing down in Newquay, and I went all the way down there, got into a house. I sat on a bed with a ribbon around my knob for about 4 hours. And this surfer called Joe came in. She'd been seeing him for 4 months. Anyway, that's another story. Anyway, it's
like it.
It didn't quite work out for me. Maybe that's so there you go. But hey, such is life.
Anyway,
I digress. We could talk about lorries all night. Now, for those of you who don't, I can't believe it, there is anyone. Electric Black are a magnificent band. I mean, they go under various guises. You can say powerful anthems, loud guitars, euphoric with influences of Bad Company, Jet, and Rival Sons, bands like that. But they are a fantastic live act. I've seen them twice now. I've seen you twice, and I love that track, Calendar Queen. Actually, that's one that really sticks in my head. I like. But so, tell me about this sort of how you joined Electric Black. How it all started for you? Because you've been in many bands before that, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than the rest of them, so I've been around the block a few times, and I was playing in a local band, kind of based in and around Biggleswade, and yeah, which things just didn't work out, so I was kind of bandless for a while, and then I got a message from, I think it was Ali, got a message from, and at that time I didn't know him. Me and Johnny were Facebook friends because I think we'd bumped into each other, and it was like, oh yeah, we're looking for a bass player. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So they sent me some stuff and I had to listen. And the way I view it, I think, okay, once we all start working together, we'll write music and it be like all of us. But I was really impressed with Ali's voice also. So that's kind of what sold me originally. And so yeah, did that, and I joined, and we had a drummer, also somebody they knew, and that didn't work out that well. Or so he didn't really want to gig that often, and obviously because me and Matt, our drummer, had played in a band together beforehand, he come and watched us one night, and he said yeah, if you ever need a hand, also in a bit of deputise, and before we knew it, bang, me and Matt, ready-made rhythm section, came into the band, and obviously Ali and Johnny had played together in previous bands, so yeah, kind of like a marriage made in heaven.
Yeah, you're great. A quartet, which means there's four of you, which is the way I look at it. But it's you got a very powerful presence, and I noticed when we were playing the Hard Rock Hell, and Ryan's playing with his computer. There, you got nice mood lighting there. Actually, is that
Yes.
Alexa and fixing your lights?
No, not the moment. What I was just doing was people literally only message me if I'm doing something. So I was pushing mute on my phone because
oh yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, my laptop's really slow, so I don't bother using that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You'll just get loads of pings and beeps as people drive past my house, and I get notifications, and people want to message me for no reason. And it's like,
obviously, popular girls, all the women after you. You know, I mean, I know what it's like. I can understand. You know, that they just want a piece of you. I mean, he's a very striking guy. Live, he wears a kilt, ladies. If you want to see him, he's a very impressive guy. How often do you wear the kilt on stage? I like that. That was a good look. That was. I like that one.
Yeah. I started wearing a kilt when I was in late teens, I think. And then obviously I remember Axl Rose started wearing one, and people were like, "Oh, you're copying Axl Rose." It's like, have a word. Yeah, exactly. And then I stopped for a while, and then like just before that one time I got married, like the missus wanted me to get married in a kilt, so I started wearing them again. And then they kind of came back into like my stage wear, and yeah, it's just dead comfortable. You just stand there, shake it all about.
Oh, you do. Honestly, it's honestly. I mean, if I was a lady, which I'm not, but I even as a guy watching you, you're quite charismatic on stage to look at. I mean, the whole band's great, but obviously drawn to you and your kilt. Obviously, that's one of those sort of things that happens, and you know, and that's where I noticed certainly a new web classic. All the women were certainly going towards your side of the stage. I'm just saying. Don't upset any other members of the band. Perhaps they should, they should look at themselves and think, well, maybe we should wear a kilt as well. I don't know, but enough of that. Your last album is called The Calm Before. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's our debut album, and we released it in 2019.
Right.
And we rigged up some tours and stuff, and was looking forward to it. Then obviously COVID kicked in, so we did some like webcasts and stuff because we did a new wave of classic rock when they're web thingies, and like we was on the same one as Chris Barris band also. But like at the same time, it's kind of a bit weird because obviously you all record your bits together, and then send them off. And obviously COVID hit a lot of bands kind of quite hard, but it was still a way of people getting to sort of see, up and coming bands or so. But then obviously by the time COVID ended, it was a case of, well, it's very hard to tour an album which is 2.5, 3 years old or so. So then we released a EP mid 2021 called Beggars, Thieves and Everything in Between, and that went down well. And currently we've finished recording our second album. We're just in the mixing phase or so. We're working with a kind of well, I presume it's quite well known, apparently won a Grammy for an album he did with Black Sabbath also. So a guy called Mike Exeter also. So
another name.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So at the moment he's in the mixing phase. Also, then he'll send us back stuff, any little tweaks we want to do, and then that will be released, I think, around about October this year. Also, so we're quite looking forward to that because
that's good. The writing process with your band, who had the ideas generated? Do they come from each members, or does somebody sort of bring them up first and then say, "Look, have a look at this," or do you all chuck ideas in?
A bit of both. Sometimes Ali might have something in it, he'll bring it along, and like Johnny, our lead guitarist, he's probably the most musically proficient. He's a music teacher. He also, he plays lead guitar very well, and he plays drums very well. And sometimes he'll say, "No, don't use that, do that." Even though Matt's a drummer, Matt plays guitar. Matt's full of ideas, enthusiasm, and then when they finish speaking, I just put my little bit in, and we just work it. And if it's not working this way, then we'll go away and we'll try something else. But like the first album was predominantly stuff which they'd pretty much almost written. Also, and there was a few new songs. Whereas this stuff is kind of really an amalgamation of like the four of us and like the sound that we've kind of got. And then obviously yourself from being in bands, so like you got a sound and then you're trying to work on an image to go with said sound also. But the four of us actually get on very, very well. So
you were lovely guys. I mean, I meet a lot of people, and I have done over the years, but I mean, we were in quite a confined space. But I was quite drawn with you guys, and it's very nice sometimes when you meet bands for the first time. I'd heard of you. I'd never seen you. I just heard that one track, which I really liked. Then I started listening to a few more things like, Too Much Water, Under the Bridge. That one I really liked, and Closer to Death. And the more I listen to, the more stuff I like. And I think the video, someone posted one this morning actually on New Ever Classic. Love is a Lie. Is that the right title? I think it's called. Yeah, great.
Yeah, Love is Lost, and that was actually filmed kind of quite local to us in Hertfordshire, and we used the local videographer, whatever they call them, and literally we went down to a car park and we set up our gear. We had like my car in the background playing the track out, and obviously like you kind of mime along to the track, and people walking past looking at us thinking, "Who are you people?" It's like, and like, they'd stop and it's like, "Look, we're not famous. We're just like kind of doing our first like kind of good music video type thing." And and like, obviously when you're filming it, like you do a bit of this, you do a bit of that, but then by the time the final edit comes back, you look at it and you're thinking, "Wow, that's good." Then you think, "Oh, that's me in that," and it's like, so then you get a big smile and the old hop starts beating, and it's fantastic.
It is nice to do that. I think it's always good. I go out to the Czech Republic quite a lot, and my wife's from there. And
cool.
I was in a bar in the middle of nowhere, and someone put on Ransom, Killing Time, and it just came on. Oh, it's just a video that we'd done during lockdown. And just to be in a bar and just see your own video, you think, hey, they sort of walk up the bar, that's me. That is. They look at you. No, that's me. I'm on the video. They're so pissed they didn't care. But I get some newfound glory. It could have been anybody. They didn't mind. But
no, but obviously, you've walked into, you're in the Czech Republic. You're not even technically home, and like a video comes on, you look and you think, well, that's me. So, like you said, like you get that big smile, you're nudging people, and you're kind of pointing, and they're like, yeah, whatever, mate. It's like, no, believe me, look at him, look at me.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and then they're still not interested. But there you go. So, do you all sort of come from sort of North Hertfordshire area, that area itself, or?
Yeah, well, pretty much. I'm originally from West London, and then I moved up this way, romance and all that kind of business, and also, but so I've been up this way now. Yeah. When I was in my late teens, at the time I'd met a girl from Hemel Hempstead, and she was a really nice girl. And I remember her saying to me once, "Why don't you move to Hemel?" And without thinking, I went, "Why don't you F off?" And it was like, "Yeah, it's probably not the way to cement a relationship, Ryan." So, this time I said, like, the lady I was with, like, she was like, "Oh, move in," and I eventually did. And then, like, we got married, and things didn't work out, but that's life, and you kind of move on. But I ended up back up this way, and then kind of fell into this band, and it's been really, really good. And if I wasn't doing this, I would just go to work.
To get the right balance, isn't it? To get the right balance of, I remember my wife doesn't give a flying fuck what I do. I go out and play. She's not. I'll be coming at night. I've done a glory night. I feel like a king. I walk in, and there's still the washing to do, or there'll be a little note. Can you put the washer in the dryer? Can you go and take the rubbish out? There'll be something like that, and it just brings you right back down to earth. Or there's bathrooms to be cleaned tomorrow, and you've got to get rid of those skid marks. That kind of brings it right down to a kind of a level that I can work on. But
I kind of live on my own, so I literally come in. I've got 2 dogs. They're very happy to see me after the time, so they start bouncing up and down. It's like, look, Daddy's been a rock star all day. Like, let me come in and sit down.
Listen, I bet they listen to you though. I bet they're actually interested.
Well, one of them, like the male dog, he likes to sing to some stuff. So we have a video called Forever Without the Fight, and as soon as I put that on, you hear him clear his throat, and then he starts singing. It's like, no, son, stop it. So, like, at the moment, I've got them in the kitchen because they'd be sat here with me. But literally, as soon as they hear me speaking to somebody,
they can come and welcome. I love dogs. I'm a dog lover. They can go and come
on. I love them, but then obviously, like, then they start. Then one wants to go outside and all that kind of business.
Oh yeah.
And like, man, let's
see what we can do with the dogs. So we're getting a guide tour of Ryan's house. Oh, hello there.
Hello. Yeah, see, he's not interested.
They've both come in now.
I'm going to let them out and let's see if they behave.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think they will. Just let them out. There's no cats near you, are there? I mean, obviously.
No, I used to have a cat, but he passed away last year. Also, they got on well with my cat. Just have a bar cat.
Yeah, I just befriend foxes. They're in my back garden. I'm quite friendly with the foxes. That's about it, really.
Okay, cool.
I mean, they're good. No, essentially, we got a young lad next door who plays. We did play recorder. Now he plays trumpet, and he's got a dog, and the dog tries to join him. It's one of the funniest things. Him playing the Close Encounters theme, and then the dog joins in. It's quite good fun, actually. I listen to that.
You see, I'd like to learn a brass instrument, but I'm not sure if my neighbours would like me. The guy next door used to play bass, and now he's just kind of stuck to keyboards, but he's probably in his 60s. I've got a guy who lives opposite, and he's a lead guitarist. But see, I've now let him in. One of them wants to go outside.
Yeah, I knew that would happen. See, once you engage them, they want your total attention. You see, that's what it is. It's the jealousy. They can hear me talking to you, and that's what it is. Yeah. But this is good, ladies. This is live. This is live. This is the way that I envisage these match chats going. A sort of guided tour, so it comes almost like cribs, so we can actually see inside your house, see where everything is, and we'll go from there.
At the moment, I'm in my living room, and that's kind of most of my gear.
Oh, hello, look, it's all there. Look, excellent. Nicely worked out. Little notepads up there to see what you're doing tomorrow, like that.
Yeah, and then there's stuff dotted around the house because I can't fit it all into that space so currently at the moment. But yeah, it shows of living alone, really.
So, what are the plans for Electric Black? You've obviously got some gigs lined up. I see you're doing Shark Fest and a couple of others.
We've got Shark Fest coming up. Yesterday we was at KK Steel Mill. We were recording a new video for a song called "Sick of Myself," and so basically we got to KK's about 10:30. We're there to about 6:30. So obviously, like when each person was doing like their bits or so, we all took stills and a few little videos. So hopefully, once the final audit comes back, it'll be as fantastic as I think it's going to be. Also, and then I think we're playing at KK's later this year on the new wave of classic rock.
Wow, fantastic!
So that'll be our first gig there or so. But it was nice to go and check out the place.
Yeah.
And, obviously, Wasp played there the Saturday night.
It did.
So there was like evidence of that, and then like their road crew was there when we got there, like packing stuff down and away. And it was like, oh, cool.
It's always good to see that, isn't it? You know, it kind of says when you walk on the same stage as Blackie. He's gone very religious now these days. They tell me, but he'll always be forever animal fuck like a beast as far as I'm concerned.
I remember buying that single. I think I had to go to Camden. And I remember buying it as a single, and at the time, singles were probably like 80p, and I paid about £7 for this or so because, you just couldn't really get it here. And
you couldn't, no. That's interesting you say that because my old flatmate used to live in a record shop, so I used to get stuff, all the import stuff that we'd listen to, and it's the only chance because unless you listen to sort of Friday night when it was like 2 hours of rock, you wouldn't hear this stuff. So it was really difficult when I started trying to hear the music that I really liked. I hated music in this country. With a passion, I hated listening to the radio. But nowadays, you can tune into anything. But with cable and with DAB, you can actually listen to whatever you want, whenever you want, and it's great. And it's the way it should be, really.
Yeah. Obviously, with the internet as well, like you can just tune into like American radio stations because we did a Friday night rock show, which was great. But Friday night, I'm late teens, early 20s. I'm out drinking. You know what I mean? So by the time I get in, like the Friday night rock show's like ended, it's like, well, that's a bit silly. Why is it just on a Friday night? Put it on maybe a Wednesday night if I'm not out. Because obviously when I was younger, I could have, and I had less responsibilities. I could actually afford to be out more often in the week. Whereas now I'm adulting and I'm not really liking it.
In inverted commas, adult. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? But I mean, the great unwashed like us, can get a chance to listen to the music. I've got people get bored of hearing this, but I've got a book coming out actually in 2 weeks' time, all about a band I was enjoying the 90s, an outmoded 80s sort of band playing in the 90s, and all the apathy that people don't realise now. The pay-to-play culture, and they sort of franchise out the club, all that stuff, and you probably experienced quite a bit yourself. And you just felt like a complete and utter not wanted anywhere. It was so hard to get anywhere in those days.
Well, it was, and in many ways, like the London scene is still very much like that because obviously they stopped the pay-to-play, but then they'd give you tickets, so you'd have to sell the tickets, and then they'd get at least 75% of the money. Obviously, they'd get all the partial trade that comes in the door. They'd get that, all the bar receipts. so like you give up like maybe half a day of work or so to turn up.
Sure.
Where we used to play the Mean Fiddler in Holston.
No, well, yeah, played a few times.
But obviously Holston's a horrible place to park anyway. You finish early, you get there, they go get there for free. So you'd have like 3 bands all stand outside.
Yeah.
Because you say, I'll get there, blah, blah, sound checks. Sound engineer turns up half hour before the doors open. Geez, cheers, mate. All of us have basically lost almost a day's pay, and you rocked up. So nobody gets a sound check. And
no. Oh God, I've read all about it. I remember we used to do the marquee in London when it was on Charing Cross, and I remember you get that 3 and other bands would turn up, and you have to wait for the sound guys, and then when you get it all sorted, then you go and sit in the Cambridge Circus next to where Les Miserables was on the theatre. Mm-hmm. And you watch all these people walking past, looking and going, "Who the fuck are those cunts?" And that was it. It was very much like that in those days. But hey, you can read the book, Ryan. I can get all about it. I'll give you a copy when I next see it.
Oh, but yeah.
I'm really excited about you guys because I love the riffs. I love the sound you're developing, and I'm very interested in where this album goes. Obviously, you know where it's going, but I love the hooks. I love the riffs. I love the sound that you've got going on and the way you play as a band. So I'm very excited about this next album.
Yes, so are we. I mean, look, we still got some good riffs. I'd say going on. Some of the songs are quite different from the first album. It's still kind of that. We still kind of have that ebb and flow of lighter stuff to heavier stuff, but some of it's like stuff that we never would have tried before. So we're kind of Well, I mean, last year we did. Well, today would have been the day we got back, but we did a tour of Spain last March. And a lot of the stuff we debuted out there to see how it kind of sounded and came across. And actually, I don't know if you ever get the chance to play out in Spain, like a little mini tour, I'd say do it. It was eye-opening. We didn't get a lot of sleep. We did a lot of driving, a lot of drinking, but it was fantastic. Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, well, things me as an old man, sometimes I'm there thinking, "Oh God, like my back hurts, lack of sleep." But yeah.
But isn't it great though? Isn't it still now? I mean, I thought my days were up years ago, and having like a sort of since lockdown, and we recorded an album during lockdown, and suddenly we had a new lease of life. We play covers every week, and suddenly radio stations are playing our album and playing tracks off it, and we're writing some new stuff at the moment. And it's great, as a kid, I dreamed of playing in band and doing what I'm doing right now. And we're on sort of probably for a few more of the Hard Rock Hell. We're doing Call of the Wild. And it's just great. I never thought if you'd said to me like 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have said, yeah, it's all done. It's all in the past. But, I got to grow my hair again. I got to, behave like a tart and do interviews and stuff. And this sort of thing, I really enjoy this. I really enjoy talking to people like yourself and finding out what you're up to and just helping with the scene, helping you guys. I can put this out to people and people can get an insight into what you're doing. And that's important to me as well. I think, seeing other people, seeing other bands that you like do well, that sort of gives me a big buzz.
Well, the way I feel, because I've been playing in bands now since about 8, 9, I think. So, the way I view it, I think, we're all kind of in the same boat. Like we're trying chasing our dreams. It might happen for some of us, it might not.
Yeah.
But if you walk into like you said, you kind of came in the dressing room, we're all in there. Oh, hello, mate. We'll chat away. Whereas, where I've had, over the years or so, I've been at places and some bands have been maybe a little bit up themselves. And it's like, well, not being funny, mate. You're not famous. You're no bigger than us, really, type of thing. So it's like, save that kind of attitude for like when you're mega famous. You think, was at the moment, like, we're all here, we're all our own roadies. Fed up with being my own donkey. Really am. I need somebody else to lug my gear.
That one day. But that's totally it. I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but a certain radio DJ said that our sound wasn't good enough production wise for mainstream radio. And I said, well, do you realise how we recorded this over lockdown under covert conditions? And it was quite amusing that we're actually playing the same festival as this guy's band. So it's quite amusing. So I'm going to turn up and say, oh yeah, our production's probably not as good for mainstream, but we're still playing the same festival as you. So, there we go. But yeah.
Well, there you go. And you think years ago, we used to record on tape and I remember recording once on 1/2-inch tape. It was like, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
That cost bucks, didn't it? Whereas obviously these days, a lot of stuff can be done at home. It's all digital. you don't have to do the perfect take. Whereas obviously, like I kind of grew up at the stage where you needed to get your take right, because obviously the more times you record it, the more you're wearing the tape out.
Totally.
And then like, you can look back at the bands from 50s and 60s and that lot, or people like Elvis when they literally went in and cut the record as they were playing. So it was a case of, well, you need to know what you're doing, because like, that's a one-time affair type jobby. Whereas like sometimes
Frank Sinatra, he never used to listen to it back. He'd do it, then he'd walk away. Elton John's the same. He wants to record his vocal. He doesn't want to hear it. That's it. Leave it with you guys. I've done my bit. I'm gone. Yeah,
because like sometimes like you can keep pushing for that perfect take, but is it that perfect take? I don't know. And then obviously sometimes the more it's in your mind, it should get easier, but then you're overthinking it, and it just gets harder.
Yeah, they always do that. The cliche in the film where the guys take 84. No, I've got one more take, and then that's the take. And oh my god, that's it. And the sound guy sits there and says, "Wow, you nailed it on your 84th take." But
if I'm not normally done within about 3 takes, I've normally got.
Yes, it's not going to happen.
I've got the arsehole by then.
Doing anymore. So hopefully we're going to play on the same bill somewhere soon. I hope we can see you guys again. I'm sure we will.
Because we've got Shock Fest coming up. We've got a gig coming up at the Gifford soon. Dates and that at the moment I can't remember without hunting through a load of devices.
I've probably written it down somewhere. Incidentally, did you see that they found that shark that pulled up on a beach, down Hampshire, and someone's come in? Someone, you'll see this on the news. Someone's. I wouldn't be surprised. Someone's cut the head off and the tail. So they obviously wandered into some pub. Say, "All I've got." Anyway, they're trying to find where the head and the tail is. They might turn up at Shark Fest. Someone will just turn up with a hat made out of this shark head.
Yeah, things that might be a bit rotten and decaying by then, though. It could smell a bit.
That smell of fish. That'd be awful. It would be trouble. Oh, listen, Ryan, it's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you for giving us time. You working tomorrow?
Yeah, for my sins.
Where are you driving to tomorrow?
Gatwick tomorrow.
Gatwick, that's not too far. Stand near me. Okay. I'm going to the Excel Centre for my latest job. Gone for about 46 years. My day jobs they don't tend to last too long. I suffer from a thing called PDA, which means I don't do authority very well. So I do really well until someone starts telling me how to be me, and then it's all over. Perhaps I shouldn't say that on there.
No, but you reach that a certain age in life, and you think, well, I'm not a child.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Let me go on. Oh, that looks nice. Is that what you're drinking?
Yeah, Dumpy Share.
Dumpy Share, eh? That's cool. I like that. Oh, well, that's nice to know that I'm leaving you with a bottle of rum, 2 dogs, and a happiness.
And the Xbox.
And the Xbox. Oh, listen to don't be a stranger. I'll catch up with you very soon, all right? Take care. Indeed. Good luck with Electric Black. Good luck with the album. Good luck with all the gigs. And we'll see you very soon, okay? Yeah,
and I'll look out for your book. Send me a link or something.
I'll just send you the book. I might actually drive up to make sure I sell 1 copy. I'll just drive up and just give it to you. Please buy this fucking book.
Oh yeah, it's good to read, because I mean, like sometimes I thought over the years maybe I should have written down the bands I was in. I can remember most of them, but like gigs I played places, and you don't also, and some of the experiences. But you've managed to do that.
I had to do it because it was a very important time for me, and I got married. They deported my girlfriend. I had to go and marry her, and I'm still with her 30 years later, despite what people think. And there you go. So can't be bad. She's not with me.
Well, yeah, I'll say 30 years ago, marriage didn't enter my head.
All right, mate. Listen, you take it easy. Have a great night. All right.
You too, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks soon. Take care. Bye bye.